Yes, they were able to announce themselves. Yes, they were able to prove everybody wrong. Yes, you caught me there as I am talking about none other than Ireland team as they are able to upstage Englishmen in the third and the final one-day international. What a way to end this series. 2-1 in favor of England, but a big smile on every cricket fan face. Hello and a warm welcome everybody. My name is Vedant and today we will be reviewing the full one-day international series with none other than Monty Panesar. So don't go anywhere and watch this video. Hi Monty, good to see you back. How are you? How is everything?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. And also Moeen Ali is captaining on the field with a bit of a groin strain by Owen Morgan. So it's something to keeps the viewers watching the game rather than the last two one days. Halfway through you just think, oh gosh, England have won this very comfortably.
Something you said before the start of third one-day international, Moeen Ali can be seen in action and it's still happening now. So absolutely right on target.
Yeah. I think it's a great opportunity just to see what Moeen Ali is like with his leadership skills, how he's making decisions on the field. And, this is obviously going to be interesting to see how he kind of changes the bowling, what he looks to do when the pressure is on England.
Right. So Monty, England has already won the series. They have sealed the series. What are the positives they will be taking out from this 3-match one-day international series against Ireland?
Well, I think with any tour, you kind of like go through all the player list and you kind of like give a tick or a cross, and that's how it is. You got to just either you deliver or you don't. And for me, I think David Willey's been a big tick, since he's been left out of the World Cup squad. I think he's come back really well. The rest has done him really good. He looks like a much clearer sort of cricketer in his mind, and also he knows his game plans really well. He doesn't look like he's, I think at times when he's struggling, he really just fights for form. He's one of them sort of characters which he won't able to relax if he doesn't score the runs or the wickets. And I think he's just finding some better, just a more peaceful David Willey it comes across. A David Willey that just knows his game a bit better.
Right. So Monty, my next question on your way. So England made just one change in the third one-day international. Unfortunately, Topley was rested because of the injury. I was a little surprised seeing that because you have already won the series. Even then, you are not making as many changes as you would want to. Were you surprised as well?
Yeah, I was surprised too because I think this is a really good opportunity to play players who they haven't seen as much. The likes of Liam Dawson. He could have played as a batsman and maybe seen what his spin option is like. That's what you want to use some of the opportunities for. So play a team that maybe Ireland got a chance of beating England. And the way he looks at it now, Ireland are doing really well at the moment, and they would take a huge confidence out of this. They would feel that after the first 2 one-dayers. Not knowing how to go about against England seamers, they've seemed to sort of learn, and they're coming across really well now. So I think it's a big tick for Ireland.
Monty, how difficult will it be for somebody like Reece Topley, who made a comeback after a long time, now played the second one-day international, unfortunately had to miss the third. Now, once England is playing with the full strength squad, how difficult will be it for somebody like Topley to actually be in the playing 11?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think that's why some of the players will be a little bit disappointed. They would think, well, once we play against the likes of Australia or Pakistan are coming over, the likes of Ben Stokes, Joss Buttler, Joe Root, they'll be back. Jeffrey Archer will be back. Mark Wood. So there's a few players who will be back as well. And this is the perfect opportunity. What a perfect opportunity it was to see just to have a look at some of the players where may not probably get a chance, for a while, because they're going to probably end up playing the strongest team. So I think they kind of missed a bit of a trick here. But it's Owen Morgan again. He batted beautifully, batted really well. But if you look at the statistics, he has scored the most amount of sixes,
Right.
compared to anyone else. Now, I asked the question: does he really need to play against Ireland?
The answer is no.
The great players saved themselves against a great team. So he could have, I believe he should have dropped himself. Like I said, made Moeen Ali captain, possibly add Liam Dawson into the mix, maybe put Sam Billings slightly, top of the order, give him responsibility, just to shuffle it up a little bit, restart, like that. So I just thought, that opportunity was kind of missed, and even though today it's an exciting game, and you're seeing how some of the other players are reacting, you just want you to have a look at someone new, like a new face we haven't seen before, and you just never know what they'll be like. We know what Owen Morgan does. We know he's the best six hitter in white ball cricket. There's no one better than him if you look at his numbers. So yeah, from that point of view, look, it was a great innings. You watch it and it was brilliant to watch. But we know that already about Owen Morgan. That's the thing.
Absolutely. And it was time to probably try some new faces. My next question to you, Monty, how many of these players do you see playing in future once the full strength is back?
Well, someone like, Mahmood, who's quick bowler, he's got a similar action to Jeff Thompson. You kind of watch him closely and you think, what's his natural length? His natural length is actually just slightly, not top of off stump, he slightly bowls it like just the back of a length. That's his natural length. And that length is perfect to hit for a six. So that's the kind of stuff, you kind of think, okay, when some of these bowlers will go back to playing for their own, domestic teams, this is the kind of stuff they would learn. Now, it's great that we've seen Mahmood playing, first for raw talent, fast bowler, and you're learning something about him. And I think that's what I mean. It's like, looking at fresh faces and just giving them a taste of international cricket and how do they react? What is their, let's say, natural games? What are their natural go-to things? And that's the kind of stuff I just felt like Sam Billings. If Joe Denley wasn't injured, Sam Billings wouldn't have been playing. Now, Sam Billings, he gets shuffled around because he's a talented cricketer and he's a great builder. But, to get the best out of Sam Billings, he needs to be in one position. And I think six is a great position for him. And he needs to be settled in that position. But then when you see Ben Stokes, Joe Root come back, he's another player I just don't think we'll get a chance to play.
And Butler may play at number 6. Who knows?
Well, there you go. So can you leave out AB de Villiers? You can't leave out Jos Buttler.
Yeah. Monty, my next question to you, I want to speak about Jason Roy. Now, Jason Roy is some character who will play well when he's playing well, but he's not able to perform when he's out of form. So I totally understand that it goes around in cricket, but when it comes to Jason Roy, if he's out of form, it becomes very difficult for him to actually convert those 10, 20 into probably 30, 40s as well. So what is the reason behind?
I think for some players, they need to play cricket. For some players, the rest does really well and they just go in and perform. Jason Roy is a type of player who likes to get bat on ball. He likes to hit a lot of balls. He's very much, a player who likes hitting a lot of balls, and he just feels his timing isn't right. Either he's playing the wrong line or he's pushing at it, and that's because he just needs more time in the middle. He needs to hit a few more balls, and possibly against Pakistan series we may see the same old Jason Roy. But he's a type of cricketer where you want to give him 3 or 4 games more, right? He's not the type of same like with Jos Buttler. These Jason Roy, Jos Butlers, they'll produce a magical performance, but you want him to give like 2 or 3 series more, rather than some players you only give them 2 series or a few games, and you kind of think, well, But these are the type of players, they're just X factor players, and you think, well, let's just give him another series because I'm sure he'll be right.
Well, except I will talk about Ireland now because except for the third one, the international, not much positives for them. What do you take out for them in this series?
Well, I think what Ireland should do is they should speak to Owen Morgan as well because he's Irish himself. Sit down with them, have their own meeting and say, look, how do you think where we are as a cricketing nation? How do you think we performed against England? What was it against, our technique against the left arm swinging ball? And what was it when we were on top? How what areas were we bowling? That weren't good for us. And I think Owen Morgan would be will give a brilliant account to Ireland cricket. And Irish cricket is close to his heart. He's from Ireland as well. And I'm sure his feedback will be valuable because he seems like he's a very mature, cricketer. And he thinks about, gives measured, calculated answers. And it'll be something that you kind of feel like, yeah, I feel like he's giving something back that I can, that is useful information. So that would be brilliant for Ireland, if they can just sit down with Owen Morgan and maybe, ask him, I don't know, what's his favourite Irish drink or something, and they all sit together and just sit there and say, look, what was good every game? What wasn't good? How can we get better? What is the technical things that we need to get better at? What are the tactical things, right? Just things like that, I think he will be the best person to talk to.
Very well said, Monty. My next question to you, let's talk about Curtis Camphor now because Curtis Camphor, he's performing really well. Just came into the side in England series. Now he's becoming that next big player. Can we see somebody like Curtis Camphor also play IPL next year because he looks like a very good prospect?
Yeah, look, he's someone similar to Banton, he's in between Joss Butler and KP. He's got the KP kind of swag about him, but then he's got this Joss Butler sort of talent as well. So he's very exciting, and I think in the IPL people will be very excited to see him. And I think IPL is a brilliant brand. They always help the smaller nations. They pick up the best talent, like from Nepal, from Afghanistan, and why not from Ireland? I think they should definitely give him an opportunity in the IPL.
Yeah, who knows? He becomes the next big player playing in IPL alongside some big players. So Monty, next question to you. We have seen so many experienced campaigners in Ireland side. We have Paul Stirling, then we have Kevin O'Brien, William Porterfield as well. Unfortunately, Porterfield did not play all 3 games, was very surprised, even asked you in the preview as well. Kevin O'Brien hasn't been able to perform with the name stature he has. What is the reason behind the experienced campaigners not being able to deliver to what they have been asked for?
Well, I think there's some players like Kevin O'Brien. He's very much a hit or miss. I remember when he scored that amazing 100 and he won the game against England. But he hasn't really produced consistent performances. Reminds me similar of a Kieran Pollard type of cricketer. Will produce an amazing performance, but just not consistently. Get the odd sort of 30 or 40, quickly. But there hasn't, I think of late I'm doing a disservice to Kieran Pollard because I think he's done really well, for Mumbai Indians over the last couple of years. But generally, if you speak as a whole, you kind of think Kieran Pollard is slightly, can perform better than what he is. And I think Kevin O'Brien is a similar mold to that, where he produces his extraordinary performances. And you kind of as fans, you kind of expect them to do that maybe once in a series, one game in a series. But that kind of happens, let's say, once a year.
Right. And Monty, what do you have to say about Andrew's captaincy?
Yeah, I think, look, he's done really well with his captaincy because under, the conditions he was presented with and also playing against some of the thing is, right, is your temperament. When the chips are down and you kind of think, well, how do we turn this around? it's your temperament. It's making sure that the boys are not too down on themselves, and they keep competing. Because that's what you got to do when things get tough for you. And I think that's what Ireland have done. They've always competed throughout the last 2 games, and this third one they're competing very well. But and that comes down to the temperament of his captaincy. If the leader is kind to them, empathetic when things are not going great, the players respond better when they are in a good position like they are today.
I'm glad you talked about the leader and when things are not correct, because my next question to you, the 3 ODI Super League matches haven't gone their way. Now, when they will be playing the next series, how important will be Andrew's role to making the team play collectively?
Yeah, look, I think for him, it's going to be about, how can we perform like they've done today against England? They're in a position where they could have bowled them out, but they let them go off the foot of the gas. That's another area. How do we, once we get them, get a team down and we only need a few more wickets, how do we do that? That's really important. During the middle over period is where Ireland has done really well. They've either, England have started off really well, but they've seemed to, I think Ireland seem to are slow starters, but in the middle over period, once they get the pace of the game, they do really well there. It's just, once the start first power play period, how can they get wickets there, or how do they constrict the runs? I think that area they probably need to work on. And once they're in a really good position, how do they just, they had England now 7 down for like 220. Should have bowled them out for like 250, 260, but they ended up getting 300 plus. Why was that? What were our bowling options there? So I think that's the kind of areas that he probably needs to look at and think, okay, who are my best bowlers when we need them wickets at the back end, and who are going to be my bowlers if a team goes off to a flying start? Who do I bring back? So it's not just like 10 and over. It's and I think these are the areas probably where he just needs a couple of bowling option plans, not sort of kind of at the moment. I think for Ireland is they're new in some of these positions. They're like, when they're in a kind of a winning position, they're a little bit like, oh, okay, what do we do now? You know what I mean? And that's where I think a good captain would be like, okay, if next time I was in a winning position, 7-4, let's say 220, I know that these are my bowlers who'll come in, and this is our game plan, and this is how we get the wickets.
And I think you also mentioned in the preview that it's very important to utilize that good position and make the most of it. I think that will be very important for somebody like Andrew and Ireland as well. Monty, my last question to you. How difficult will it be for 9, 10, 11, 12 ICC ranking teams to play alongside the first 8? Because it wouldn't be wrong to say that the difference is much and is visible thus far.
Look, I think the difference isn't in the batting department. Like some of the teams, every team's got big hitters. I think the difference is putting in the right bowler, right, and how to get these wickets. That's where the difference is. I think that the bigger nations, they just know when they're in a strong position, this is the bowlers will come along and get us the wickets. Or when a team's got really good momentum, flying start, how to just control that. So that's where the difference lies between the bigger and the smaller nations. It's not a huge difference, but it in terms of tactical decisions, I think just the bigger nations are just better at knowing when they're in a winning position how to win games.
That's where analysis come, and you are very, very good at that. Thank you so much, Monty. I have so many more questions, but I definitely respect your time. So thank you so much for being on the show. Cricket Talks with Monty Panesar. Love talking to you during the England versus Ireland series. I hope you had a good time.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Take care and hope to see you soon again.